The next Pokemon coming to Pokemon Unite will break the game. I am not just saying that. I don't say things I don't mean. I don't say things lightly, and I don't say I love you unless I mean it. And I love you.
You love me?
Yeah, I do.
In this video, we're going to take a look at some footage of the next Pokemon coming to Unite. If you don't want to know what it is, I implore you to leave now. Not even sure if I used the word implore correctly, but it felt pretty good when I said it. Boom! I used it correctly. Let's go. If you're still here, let's take a look. This is from El Chico Eevee's YouTube. We're going to go through all the moves and all the powers of our newest Pokemon coming, Azumarill. The passive is one of the most game-breaking things I've seen in a while. It feels like this passive is specifically set up to change the way teams play in the meta. This kind of changes the 1-1-3 meta. You almost can't have a Pokemon by itself now. Let me tell you why. The passive, huge power. When this Pokemon hits a single opposing Pokemon with a basic attack move or Unite move, it is always a critical hit. It's okay. Every time it hits something by itself, it is a critical hit. That's insane. That's a stat. That's insane. However, when this Pokemon hits two or more opposing Pokemon at once with a basic attack or move or its Unite move, the hits are never critical hits. Basically, what I see happening with a move like this, I'm going to let the video continue playing. By the way, link in the description to this full video. What I see happening with this is Pokemon will now not play inside the top by themselves unless it's another Azumarill, but to counter that, you'll put another Pokemon up there. Basically, this stops Pokemon from being by themselves, creating an entirely new meta. I thought when I saw Hoopa, it was going to change the game, and I really think it did. Duraludon, I wasn't sure, because we weren't sure how powerful it was going to be. But this is set up, it feels like, specifically to break certain things in the meta, and this isn't the only thing it breaks. I'll show you more here in a second. Its auto attack here becomes a basic boosted with every third, dealing increased damage in a cone area effect in front of the user. We'll get to its first move here, Tackle. Charging forward, you deal damage to an opposing Pokemon and leaving them unable to act for a short time. Kind of similar to some of the tackles we've seen, and we will see some gameplay footage here very soon as well. One of its first move choices, Play Rough. This increases your movement speed, and then for a short time, it changes your next basic attack. When you perform it, you lunge for your next basic. It lunges at one opposing Pokemon in range and delivers repeated blows, dealing damage to that Pokemon and leaving them unable to act for a short time. Once it upgrades, it further increases your movement speed when the move is used and reduces cooldown. So this feels like a very assassin-y move. You know, you're near a single enemy and you could just dive in and get them. Also, it feels like maybe you can use this move to sort of dive towards the back line a little bit and take out some of the weaker Pokemon back there. If they're all alone, like a Decidueye or something like that, you're gonna get critical hits the whole time. It's pretty crazy. Moving on to our next move here, Water Pulse. Has the user shoot a pulsing blast of water in front of itself. Now, I saw this one earlier. This one is one of the more interesting moves to me, and you'll see why in a second. When the blast of water hits an opposing Pokemon, it decreases that Pokemon's movement speed and deals damage to all opposing Pokemon in the area of effect around the Pokemon hit. So, it's very possible using this in bigger fights is sort of Azumarill being able to actually deal some damage, considering in bigger fights, Azumarill's, passive is probably not going to be used as much. So this will hit a few Pokemon, around that area of effect. But now, listen to this. The blast of water then automatically bounces to another target if one is available. Including the first target, the blast can bounce between up to 3 targets. Each hit behaves the same way as the first. So if there are just kind of 2 Pokemon near each other, it's just bouncing between them. It can bounce to multiple enemies on the enemy team. While the blast of water is traveling, the user can perform a short rolling dash in a designated direction, so it just gives you another move there. And then the upgrade here increases the maximum number of targets that the blast of water can bounce between by 2, meaning it can bounce between the entire enemy team. Okay. Okay, it just sounds crazy. We'll have to see how good it is, because you're probably not going to get your effect of your critical with this, but if they're just slightly far enough apart, you will, and it'll critical hit the whole enemy team. Bubble is the next beginning move here. A user sprays bubbles in a cone, dealing damage to Pokemon in the area of effect and decreasing their movement speed, and you can move around while using it. The next two upgraded moves start with Whirlpool. For a short time, 4 small whirlpools appear that swirl around the user as it moves. If a whirlpool hits an opposing Pokemon, the whirlpool deals damage to it and restores the user's HP. So this move is kind of like a discharge from Zeraora a little bit, but shorter range, and it's going to recover your own HP. If a whirlpool hits a Pokemon on the opposing team, an increased amount of HP is restored to the user. So if it just hits, wild Pokemon, it doesn't do as much, but if it hits an opposing Pokemon, it does more. Its upgrade increases the amount of HP restored and reduces cooldown, so, feels crazy. Also, by the way, if you're only hitting one target, all those whirlpools critically hit. Aqua Tail is the other move. Now this is the other move that's kind of set up to break the game, as crazy as it sounds. It has kind of 2 things set up to break the game. Aqua Tail increases the speed area of effect of the user's next 3 basic attacks. It restores the user's HP, again, and can ignore the defense stat and shield effects of opposing Pokemon they hit. Meaning, score shields, safeguards, Eldegoss shields. This Pokemon is set up to completely break the way we are playing this game right now. It's crazy. The upgrade after the user activates this move, the next 3 attacks will also reduce the cooldown of all its moves. Sure, why not? I mean, this Pokemon is just nuts. Taking a look at the Unite move here, has the user pound its belly 3 times, granting it a shield. With each pound, you lose some HP in exchange for increased attack. The user can move while pounding its belly, and then you charge towards an opposing Pokemon, dealing damage and throwing all opposing Pokemon hits while charging. It's like a reverse Blissey. It's the reverse Blissey. So you choose an enemy and you charge through it. Let's take a look at some of this in-game here. Again, this is from El Chico Eevee. You can see their watermark on the screen, and I'll again have a link in the description for them. Here's our little Marill, and it's going to start here with Tackle. You can see it move around a little bit. Very cute. And you'll notice every time this Pokemon is going to hit, it's going to do a critical hit. Again, meaning you can't really engage this Pokemon alone, or at least if you do, you just know that everything is a critical hit. You see the tackles happening there. Yeah, every single one of them a critical hit. All the basic attacks, everything a critical hit the entire way. So there you go. The other thing that you're going to have to do when you're fighting this Pokemon is try to get it to attack multiple people at once, which is just such an interesting thing to have to think about here. Here is that bubble move right there. Hits multiple times. And yeah, we see going back to some basic attacks right here. Again, every single thing a crit. This is that Whirlpool move that we talked about. Look at this. Every single one of those, not only is it going to restore your HP, not only are you attacking during it, again, it's like a short range discharge from Zeraora, sounds gross. You are going to critically hit every time you're chasing someone down with this or fighting a single person with this. You get it at level 5. It seems like there's no way that you can really leave this Pokemon alone, because trying to fight this Pokemon alone as Lucario, it's going to be critically hitting you with every single one of its moves. That's crazy. This next move here, this is Play Rough. So we can see it use its move, and then it kind of dashes in. It looks like it has a moment of invulnerability, almost like using Hex from Gengar right there. Dashing in, and we can see you can use both moves, so you dash in and the Whirlpools. Guys, it's just... it seems pretty crazy. It really does here. Moving forward... let's take a look at this Unite move. So again, you select a target, you slam your belly a few times, and then you dash into it there. Now, it doesn't seem to have, some insane range or anything like that. And right now we're seeing these upgraded moves get used here, turning off the cooldowns. You are critically hitting with your Unite move. Now, it's all to be seen whether, these numbers scale the way you'd want them to. Obviously, you're going to run a scope lens on this Pokemon. No need to use a Razor Claw, because it doesn't matter really how often you can critically hit. You critically hit every time. You're just going to want an item like a scope lens to get more critical hit damage. I feel like if you don't run a scope lens on this Pokemon, that would be absolutely insane. Let's take a look at its other moveset here. Here is that Aqua Tail. So this is the move that goes through shields, which is so interesting. Basically, it could stop someone using a score shield. Again, it stops Eldegoss shields, Blissey shields, Unite move shields. This just feels like if this move works correctly, you are shutting down so many different strategies here. Who cares if Cinderace uses its Unite move and gets a big buddy barrier? Doesn't matter. You go through shields. That's... Guys... That just seems nuts. This next move is really interesting. So there's that dash, and that move would bounce between multiple opponents here. Something else to notice about this Aqua Tail is because it hits in these wide swings, I think it's going to be a lot easier to stop an entire team from scoring using a move like this. You're not going to get the critical hits most likely, but you could just swing that in front of a team trying to score on a goal. It doesn't even matter if they all have shields. You just stopped all of them from scoring. And again, now we're taking a look once again at this water pulse move. That's kind of the most interesting thing in its kit, and it all just really depends on how useful it is. But now imagine you're trying to defend a goal. You hit them all with Aqua Tail, so you stop them all from scoring. Then you throw a water pulse, and 5 people are hit by this water pulse. And then you have time to hit your Aqua Tail again. It just seems like everything Azumarill does is set up to combat the way we are playing this game. I can't wait to see this Pokemon in action. I really do think it could completely change the meta of this game. Just the way when I first saw Hoopa, I thought, wow, the implications of this are insane. I think with this, the possibilities are endless, and we're about to see a new way of playing Pokemon Unite because of Azumarill. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. And again, link to El Chico EV in the description. Thank you all. Love you. I wouldn't say it unless I meant it.